Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. This is Alessandra
and this is Giulia
from Color Analysis Studio, and today we are here to answer to some of your questions that you left us on our Instagram stories. This is a great reminder to follow us on Instagram. We will leave the link below, and please, if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, please do so.
Absolutely. We noticed that over 60% of you guys who watch our videos are not subscribed to our channel. Maybe this is no big deal for you, but it certainly is for us. So make sure to hit the subscribe button in order to support us. It's free. It takes less than 1 second. So thank you very much, guys, for subscribing to our channel. Now, before starting with our Q&A, we wanted to thank today's video sponsor, Sleep&Glow, again, back to our channel with the Omnia pillow. As you know, guys, we've been using this pillow for quite a few months now. We love it. We're very happy to recommend it to you. It's an anti-aging pillow that reduces the morning puffiness and the sleeping wrinkles thanks to this beautiful and specific 3D shape. You can purchase the Omnia pillow with a 15% discount during the Black Friday sale. The Black Friday sale starts on November 11 and it finishes on November 24. So you have a few days to purchase this pillow using our code. We will leave all of the links below. So guys, make the most of it and let us know if you like the Omnia pillow as much as we do. And now we can start with our Q&A.
Let's start.
So guys, we asked you a question on Instagram. What are the chromatic features that you find confusing about your own colors? And we received many questions and comments.
The first group of questions that we want to answer to are related to the undertone.
Yes.
I think undertone is the characteristic that is more difficult to identify.
It's the trickiest
Definitely.
One. We have a lot of questions saying basically the same thing, but we chose this one. I honestly have no clue if my undertone is warm, cool, neutral, or olive. Alessandra, what do you think?
There's a lot of confusion about undertone and overtone here, because we cannot have a neutral undertone, we cannot have an olive undertone. No. We can have an olive overtone, but we cannot have it in undertone form. No.
So in terms of undertone, we can either be warm or cool. And once again, there are people who are extremely warm and people who are extremely cool. Others that are just slightly warm or slightly cool, but we can definitely not have an olive undertone. That's the overtone. That's the color of the skin that has nothing to do with the undertone of the skin. Yeah, for example, this one. Undertone versus overtone. Guys, it's two different concepts. So the overtone is the skin color, is the surface of the skin, while the undertone is the color that is underneath the skin. This is very important to understand. I found these two comments extremely interesting. So the first one, I have olive toned skin, so I thought I might be warm, but I'm a summer.
Yeah, this is explain exactly the difference between overtone and undertone, I think, because a person that see their skin in the mirror and perceive the color as olive is considering the overtone. But during an analysis, what we're gonna see is what is underneath, and this person discovered it is a summer, so it is cool.
Yes, exactly.
So there are two different concepts. This question explains it very well, I think.
And this is the second one, which is the opposite. Fair, pinky skin, so I thought I was cool. I got analyzed by you this summer and I'm a warm autumn. So not just warm, but the warmest of autumns.
Absolutely. And here the pinkish of the skin can be confusing because it's perceived as a cool, especially because a lot of foundation that are cool, classified as a cool, are pink.
Yes,
so
exactly.
A person maybe might be thinking that is cool while underneath the base is yellow, so there's more carotene in it. So
that's right. We talked about this topic in the video about makeup. You can find the link up here. And you know, guys, the undertone of foundations is different compared to the undertone of color analysis. So remember that when you choose your best foundation, you just need to consider the color of your skin, okay, your skin tone, your overtone, nice and easy. Don't consider the undertone when it comes to foundation, okay? The undertone that we analyze in color analysis has nothing to do with the foundation. Ale, listen to this one. I am a cool winter, but there is a lot of yellow in my hazel eyes and my skin.
Well, regarding the skin, we already reply overtone, undertone, so
Yes.
it doesn't really matter the color that you see it, because what is underneath is different and what we need to see. Regarding the eyes color, guys, they don't count. Like, the eyes color doesn't matter during the undertone phase, but it doesn't even matter during the intensity phase, actually.
Exactly.
Something that we don't really look at.
And it's not like we don't consider the eye color in general, but it's not that if you have blue eyes, you have cool undertone and high intensity, because this is what we find that people think is true reading your comments. If a person has blue eyes, they have a cool undertone and a high level of intensity. Not true, because if the iris is blue, doesn't mean that the undertone is cool. It can be either cool or warm. If the color of the iris is blue, it doesn't mean that the intensity is high. It can even be low, because blue can be high in intensity, like the cyan, for example, that we use for the Winter Bright palette, or it can be a very muted, dusty version of blue, like powder blue, for example. And color analysis is way more than analyzing the color of the iris. Otherwise, guys, there will be a chart, and if you have hazel eyes, you're autumn. Done.
So you are an autumn.
I'm autumn then, exactly. But of course, this is not the case. It's way more than considering the eye color. We always analyze the complex in general, okay? So it's a matter of skin, first of all, and it's the hardest part to analyze. So we know that probably it's, more fun, and it's probably easier to consider your eye color, but the reality is that is not that relevant when it comes to the analysis.
And even for the intensity is related to the saturation of the color, not the color itself.
Exactly.
So having blue eyes doesn't mean that you have a high level of intensity. Black eyes can be intense, brown eyes can be intense.
Absolutely.
So yes, it's a matter of understanding the characteristics of the complexion, the whole complexion, rather than the single eye color,
color of the
iris.
Now, let's talk about gray hair, a very interesting topic that affects everyone, because everyone either has gray hair or will have gray hair in the future. So very interesting topic to tackle. There's no escape. Will my undertone change when I have gray hair?
Your undertone will not change, because the undertone is related to our skin. So the skin commands in terms of undertone. So having gray hair will not change your undertone. It's true that when you age, you slightly cool down. Imagine that you are adding a cooler part to your complex, that are your gray hair. But I can say that it's not gonna change your undertone dramatically. However, it's really, really recommended to do another analysis when you start to go gray, because it maybe is the time to
get your colors analyzed again, because they're changing, right? So maybe you want to adjust the perfect level of intensity, the perfect amount of warmth or coolness that you now need, because as Alessandra said, it's true that your undertone doesn't change, but overall your complex appears cooler, because with your gray hair, that's what it is. So it's probably time to see your color analyst again.
Another thing that will change when your hair goes gray is that your level of intensity is gonna decrease a little bit, because imagine a gray component in your complex will gray down all the complex,
of course,
more. So
of course, and we can probably answer to this second question now. My brown hair is is now gray, some colors don't seem to work anymore. Exactly, maybe it's the intensity, right? Because your intensity is decreasing slightly, so maybe some extremely vibrant colors that maybe you are used to don't work anymore. Or maybe, since your undertone is cooling down a little bit, the overall complex appears slightly cooler than it was before. It's more of a matter of undertone. So once again, the answer is you probably should do your analysis again to adjust the perfect level of intensity and the perfect undertone that you need right now.
Mm-hmm. And I think that is very, very important to maintain the process, goes in that direction.
And embrace your gray hair.
The gray, because nature gives a perfect harmony, I think, around our color. And maybe going back to your natural hair color at this phase maybe is not gonna be a good idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be a little bit too much, a little bit overpowering, a little bit fake.
Exactly. It depends, everyone ages in different ways. But let's say that, maybe you want to bring your hair back to its original color, but in the meantime, your skin changed. So the match doesn't work anymore. So maybe your gray hair is actually your very best option at the moment, right?
Exactly.
So, once again, ask your color analyst what is your perfect palette today. Next question. As a true spring, what pinks can I wear? I don't see any pinks, only coral. Oh well, so there are quite a few pinks. All of the pinks that are part of the spring palette are warm in undertone and high in intensity. Also, overall, they're quite light. So coral is definitely an option, but we also recommend you use peach, flamingo, and geranium.
And all the shades in between,
of
course.
I was diagnosed as light spring, but I'm unsure because I have dark hair and light skin.
Are you sure that the analysis was correct?
So guys, very important. When it comes to the undertone and the intensity, everything can happen. You need to do a professional color analysis to find out. But when it comes to the value,
it's very objective,
it's light or deep. It's quite obvious. And of course, we're not showing you the photos of this person, but we can see them. A person who has natural dark hair, it's quite hard to believe that they are part of a light subgroup. Not a light season, they can still be spring, of course, but light subgroup specifically. Let's say that, a person who has really dark features naturally doesn't belong to the light subgroups. It's like, for a natural blonde person to belong to a deep subgroup. And
it will be basically impossible. When we talk about value, we are very objective based on what, the natural color are. So a person with dark hair cannot be part of the light subgroup. That's not the predominant characteristic.
No. Let's say that out of the hundreds or probably thousands of people that we have analyzed, we've never found a person that has natural dark hair like this person and that belongs to a light subgroup. No. I wear a hijab. Will doing a whole color analysis session with the hair covered affect results? No, absolutely not. Why? Because first of all, we can still analyze the color of your eyebrows. You can still describe your natural hair color to us. But also, in general, having hair is not a requirement. We can even analyze people who don't have hair at all. The skin is always the most important part. So don't worry if you wear a hijab or a headscarf. In general, it's absolutely no problem for us to analyze you. If I'm deep winter, how do some deep autumn shades look good if they're supposed to be warm?
Okay.
Interesting question.
That's related to the predominant characteristic of the winter deep palette, that is the depth. So makes sense to think that even if you go out of your season to autumn, so in a warm and in a soft season, you maintain which is your predominant characteristic, that is the depth. So that's why deep autumn color will still work.
Exactly, this refers to the sister season concept. If you are deep winter, you can steal some colors from the deep autumn subgroup. This doesn't mean that you're autumn. Your undertone is still cool and your intensity is still high, but your main characteristic is the depth. So if a color is deep, and very rich, dark, even if it's warm, it can still work on you. And now we're going to stay in the deep area of the spectrum. I am a dark winter. I analyzed by you. I am unsure what colors to wear besides those on the card.
Oh guys, if we could insert in the card, in our brochure, all the colors of the uniform, all the universe, probably we will do, but it's impossible. Like, there are millions of different shades that you can use. So let's not focus on the little square of the brochure.
Exactly.
Let's focus on the million of shades in between.
Yes.
So let's focus on finding the characteristics of a color rather than picking the exact shades
Absolutely.
that is in the brochure. So,
absolutely. So, we totally understand that, especially at the beginning, you want a card or you want a fabric swatch to rely on because you're getting familiar with your colors. But remember that the long-term goal is to get familiar with your colors because you understood the concept. So if you're winter deep, you want colors that are cool, intense, and overall dark. Since you're deep winter, let's say that in your wardrobe you should have a prevalence of deep colors and a few light colors. So this is what you need to remember, right? All of the colors that have these characteristics are good for you, even if they are not, exactly present on the card. And now finally, the question. Vein color. They say blue means cool and green means warm. I have both. Crazy! Yes,
Giulia, which color are my veins? Yours are green and mine are blue. I'm warm and Giulia is cool, so there's a problem with this vein.
There's a problem,
right?
guys. So let's say that this vein test is not reliable because the reality is that the majority of people have a mix of blue and green. Also, which kind of veins do you have to look at? This one's very close to the hand, this one's down here. Also, it depends on how deep they are inside the skin. So
vein test is not reliable, guys.
No.
Don't trust the vein test,
No.
please, because I have a blue vein and
Exactly.
I'm warm.
And I also have a mix of blue and green, but not only I'm cool, I'm extremely cool. So according to the vein test, I should have like pure blue-purple veins, but I don't. This, once again, vein test is not reliable. Also, you don't want colors to look nice on the wrist. You want colors to work around your face. So this vein test, we absolutely don't consider it. It's something that they used to do in the 80s. And to be fair, it's one of those fun, process that you can do at home to play around a bit with your colors, but during an analysis, we don't analyze your
we don't even ask which color are your veins. This is a little creepy, no?
I tan under the sun, therefore I must be warm. No,
It's not true.
Not true.
It's not a rule.
No, guys, this fact that only people who have a warm undertone tan or tan easily is an oversimplification. It doesn't correspond to reality. So don't try to find your undertone based on how much you tan, because you won't find the answer. You will find the answer just if you compare warm and cool colors in front of the mirror. That's how you can understand your undertone.
Tan is related to a modification of your overtone.
Exactly.
So
what changes about your colors is related to the overtone, right? You can see that the skin becomes different in color. It becomes deeper. And, it's still related to the overtone, to a characteristic that you can see with your eyes, and it's not related to the undertone. This is tricky. In the 80s, I was analyzed cool winter. 5 years ago, warm spring. How can they be so opposite?
I think that someone made a mistake in your analysis. We have to see which one. Cool winter and warm spring are opposite in the color wheel.
How can you go from extremely cool to extremely warm? We've never seen anything like this.
No.
But what we have seen is that, analysis from the 80s. Let's say that
color analysis improved quite
in the meantime.
Quite a lot. Even if nowadays we have to be very, very careful with choosing the right analyst, because there are a lot of people that are not trained, guys.
Exactly.
So be very, very careful. Be very careful with that. Yeah, maybe the 80s. A little bit like old style analysis, old school analysis, just the start of color analysis. So
now let's say that the techniques and the tools are a bit more refined, a bit more precise. But also a question that I would like to ask this person is, were the two analysts that analyzed you certified? Because who told you that you're cool winter? Who told you that you're warm spring? If they're both certified, maybe someone uses a different method, but the Undertone is from extremely cool to extremely warm. We've never seen anything like this. No.
Maybe another analysis.
Maybe you need a third opinion. How can we find out if someone is properly trained? Guys, do a bit of research. So color analysts usually have their own website. You can go in the About section where they talk about their life, their passions, but also their career. So you can definitely see if they studied color analysis, where, because one thing that I can recommend is that they not only have to tell you that they studied, they have to tell you where and possibly when. So you have our information are nice and clear on our website for everyone to have a look, so you can easily find out where we studied. If you cannot find this kind of information about an analyst easily, probably look for another one. Because I'm Asian, they all say I am warm.
But what does it mean?
Why?
It's not because you are Asian, you are warm, but I don't know. But who told you that?
No.
Who told you that?
Absolutely not true. You can be Asian, you can be anything, and you can still be warm or cool, because it depends on the composition of the second layer of your skin, and this applies to everyone.
Let's say that there are some countries that have abundant of winters, abundant of springs. But it's too generic, I think.
Absolutely. Yes, it is true that there are some geographic areas that include mostly cool or mostly warm people, right? But it's not enough. It's not like we analyze people and we're like, where are you from? Germany. Oh, you're warm then. No, it's not like that. Someone analyzed me that my best season is soft autumn. Okay, my second is light spring. Is that possible?
In our method, no. Maybe they use a different method, but it doesn't make sense, guys. So autumn soft is warm, deep, and soft autumn as a season. Spring is bright, light, and warm. So they have in common the warmth, but the lightness is missing. So
even
the
intensity.
The softness.
If you're soft autumn, it means that your main characteristic is the softness. That most of all delicate colors work very well on you. It makes sense to think that your second best season might be soft summer, not light spring, because the lightness of light spring is not your
because the intensity of the light spring is quite higher than autumn
soft. So if your main characteristic is the softness, how can your second best season be an intense one, a bright one like spring? So no, in our method this is not possible,
and in our opinion doesn't make sense.
I know, but like how would it work? I don't know. Last but not least, this person says that it's confusing that I don't see any main characteristic. Here you have two options. First one, you have a main characteristic, but you can't see it because, of course, you're not a trained color
yourself
analyst.
is very difficult to see your
Exactly.
undertone, your intensity, to be objective. Me and Julia has been analyzed from someone else,
Exactly.
by someone else in the past.
So we didn't analyze
No.
ourselves. Even if we do this as a job, we still asked another, a third analyst to analyze ourselves to be absolutely objective. So this is the first one. You're too biased when it comes to yourself. You cannot be very objective. 2, you're not a color analyst, so maybe you still have a main characteristic, but it's just that you can't see it. Third option, maybe you don't have any main characteristic because maybe you are a true season. How can you find out? Having a professional color analysis done. So choose your favorite color analyst and find out if it's true that you don't have any main characteristic, which is totally possible, or maybe you do have a main characteristic but you can't see it at the moment.
Yeah.
Alright, so the questions are finished for today's video. Thank you so much guys for watching till this point, till the very end, and thank you for your constant support here on YouTube and on Instagram. Please remember once again to subscribe to our channel.
And if you're interested in a color analysis session here in Melbourne, Australia, or online, feel free to visit our website, coloranalysis.au.
We're going to see you guys very soon on this channel with more videos. Bye bye!
Bye!